What hit the news and a lot of people are talking about on YouTube is Andrew Tate and his brother apparently were picked up and charged. There's videos on Twitter, they're all over the place. Now, he was kicked off social media from Twitter, from Facebook, from YouTube because it was described as misogynist and basically hate speech is what he was kicked off for. And he's been detained in Romania. The charges are human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized crime group. Authorities have confirmed. Andrew Tate is probably, he likes to come off like he's very smart because he has millions and millions. Maybe he's a trillionaire. He has a lot of supercars. I mean, the guy has got a lot of money. And you'd think he would have just shut his mouth, did his thing, and enjoyed his life. But no, he still wanted to be yapping. Now, he opened up a place that he said he would teach people how to make money. And he charged them like $50 a month. And he called it a war room and all this stuff. And some of what he was teaching was horrible teaching. He would teach affiliate marketing. There was another guy on YouTube that joined that is an affiliate marketer. And he was looking at what Tate was teaching, and it was pretty mediocre. It wasn't even really that much instructions on how to do it, where this other guy actually taught you everything. And it was completely free on YouTube. But one thing I seen on Tate, because he ended up flooding my feeds, he said you don't tell people what you're offering. You don't tell them exactly what it is. You just tell them you're going to give them money. So in other words, I could create a very shitty teaching course on how to do affiliate marketing, and as long as I tell you you're making money, you're going to sign up. And that's what I got from it. So I don't know, maybe that's part of it. Now, there's something else about Romania that probably a lot of people don't know about. Romania, Ukraine, I mean, when you start getting into that side of the world, I've seen a documentary on so-called, human trafficking. And you do have human trafficking in the United States, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, Australia. It's all over. But over there, it was much easier to do. And literally, you had slaves. I mean, you could literally buy a woman. And they would sell people and take people. And the amount of manipulation that went on was ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying this is what Andrew Tate was doing. But this is something that goes on that side of the world a lot more than people know. Now, the United States has some very, very severe laws that stretch into other countries to protect women from this. So if you were to take a woman from the United States, go to Romania or go to some other place, you would still be charged with human trafficking if they can prove it. You're not insulated because you left the country or you went someplace else. That's not how it works. Because they have been trying to put an end to human trafficking for quite some time. So, with that said, he used to be a former kickboxer and a reality TV star. It tells you who's banned from social media platforms. Now, I wouldn't say Andrew Tate was being misogynist on any videos I ever seen. Some people might say it's hate speech. He was quite vocal and quite straightforward. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't like him, especially women. And in a way, he talked more of, I don't know, I guess an old school 1950s, 1960s type of way about women is what he did. It wasn't like a 2022 type of thing. Okay. So he was detained for 24 hours. I guess they're getting their information in line. And, there was other websites I checked that I translated. And apparently there's 4 people that was taken into custody. And they're supposed to be, like, what did they say? Did they put it in here? There's a few people going on here with this that were involved in this. Here it is here. According to a translated statement from the investigators, 6 women who were allegedly sexually exploited by the organized criminal group have been identified. Now, apparently he runs this criminal group. And apparently there's now 6 women. So this is going to be a pretty intense case that's going on. I've heard Andrew Tate mention the mafia. I've heard Andrew Tate mention, these are his own videos. He used to deal drugs when he was younger. I've heard Andrew Tate say a lot of things he probably shouldn't say. I've even heard him say, I'm the guy you come to if you want a job done. Whatever it is, you got somebody at some place, you want them out, give me the money and I'll go. So in other words, I'll do whatever it takes to make the money. That's what I got out of what he said. Now, there's another guy that ended up talking about him, and this is Ethan Klein. Now, Ethan Klein, I'll have a link to this if you want to watch it. He actually had said Andrew Tate was doing all this a long time ago. Now, of course, there was no proof, there was no charges, there was nothing going on, and he ended up getting a cease and desist letter from Andrew Tate. Why you would want to accuse a billionaire of something that's no proof to back it up seems quite stupid to me. Well, obviously he took it down, but now he's rejoicing, he's jumping up and down, and Ethan Klein doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He's over here saying, now look at that, this is going to be pretty hard to prove for defamation of character, because look at that, you got charged with it. Just because you're charged with something doesn't mean you're guilty. Okay, they have charged him. He has to go to court. He very well could come out of court and be not guilty. Now, if he comes out with a not guilty, then this guy Ethan Klein's going to look like an asshole, isn't he? Ethan Klein shouldn't be saying anything if he's already gotten one letter from Andrew Tate's lawyers. So that's something to think about. Now, Andrew Tate has a very big following. I mean, we're talking millions. He even runs what they were referring to as a pyramid scheme they talked about. And what he would do is say, if you join me, I'll teach you how to make money, pay me $50 a month. And he's got something like 140, 150,000 young men paying him. And he's actually, I would say he's manipulated the younger crowd, because he constantly says, well, look at my cars. I got 32, 33 supercars. Look what I drive. I smoke my big cigar. It's all front. And he does own this stuff, but it still looks like a big front. And he says, why wouldn't you listen to me? I've got the billions of dollars. Why would you not listen to me? And some of the things he says does make sense. But he's made his money in ways people don't understand. Like the pyramid scheme they were talking about, basically these young guys would send out videos of his, and they would make a percentage, and he would make a percentage, like affiliate marketing. So even when they took him off social media, he then used his social media, the power of his social media of over 150,000 young guys, to now upload videos everywhere. He didn't even have to do it. That's pretty smart. Because even though they banned him from YouTube, he was everywhere. So they weren't stopping him. He learned how to manipulate that system, which is pretty smart. He also talked about owning cams with women. And this is a lot of people do this in Romania. Literally, they own these big apartment buildings, and these women are brought in, they're fed, they're given nice incomes. You get on cam, you'll be on Chatterbait, you'll be on OnlyFans. Some of them will run 3 or 4. I mean, even that video game Second Life, you'll find there's a lot of Romanians in there playing like strippers in order to move you into cam, is what they do. Every little dark area of life that they can do this. And you can make a lot of money doing it, because men pay a lot of money for stuff like that. So you think about this. If I went to Romania and let's say I wanted to set up shop, okay, I get an apartment building with 50 units. I network it. I wire it. I put 50 computers in every room. I set up the cams. It's all networked, my internet, and I'm ready to go. And now I just got to hire my women, put them in there, and get them going. Now, am I making them work 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day? I don't know. But this goes on in Romania. It goes on in Ukraine, and it goes on in these places. And there are people there making millions off doing this. And they're doing it here with OnlyFans. I mean, except they act like all the women are there because they choose to be. But do you think there is a criminal aspect to this, to where there are women being controlled, put on OnlyFans that live here in the USA. You'd be stupid if you didn't believe that. And our society is guilty of this. I mean, they are driven by sex. And as long as men are driven by that, and as long as this goes on, you will have pimps, you will have OnlyFans, you will have cam houses in Romania, you will have them everywhere. And if there's a man there willing to take the money and do it, well, then we got one. And Andrew Tate makes money off cam girls. He said that too. I'm only going by what he said, is what I'm going by. So then the question comes up was, well, do I believe this charge that has happened to him is real? To be honest with you, I don't know. Until he goes to court and until it actually goes through the proceedings and everything, I don't think anybody knows. And I've always been totally against this. I don't think any of this should be on the news. I don't think I should be allowed to talk about it. I don't think until an innocent or guilty is portrayed. Now, if he comes out with guilty, okay, fine. Now the doors are open. Go nuts and talk about it. Because they say a man is innocent until proven guilty, and that's bullshit. You're guilty until proven innocent. And that's just the way it is. If you really was innocent till you were proven guilty, then no news services, nobody would be talking about you, nothing would be published. But that's not true. You are automatically guilty. And most of your videos you'll find on this is Andrew Tate's guilty. You'll even find a lot of comments from women saying, mainly feminists, saying that they want to put him into a dark hole. Now, Andrew Tate did say, first they'll remove me off social media, then they'll find something to charge me with, and then they'll kill me. He has said that in multiple videos. Is this true? Or is he actually using human trafficking and making tons of money? You know, when they say he raped some women and stuff like that, I don't know. When you have that type of money, why would you rape somebody? I mean, there's truth and lies going on in here, is what I'm seeing with everything. But he definitely has access to the dark side of life. And that's all there is to it. But personally, I don't think he should have been on social media shooting his mouth off the way he was. I think all that was pretty stupid. There's a lot of people rejoicing with this, and there's a lot of people not. I reserve judgment. I mean, basically, he has been charged. His brother's been charged. And until he goes to court, nobody's going to know anything different. Or until he decides to open his mouth, which I'm sure his lawyer's going to tell him to shut it. But if he does come out as a guilty, and he does come out as human trafficking, it's going to be like, well, everybody's going to be like, bury him, put him in a hole. But his followers will even find it hard to believe, even if they do give him a guilty. Now, one mistake that I see the one guy talking about, earlier this week, the British national was told to get a life on climate activist Greta Thunberg, the young girl there. You know, she talks about saving the world. Well, Tate and her got into a big fight on Twitter, and they went back and forth. Okay? But there's something that other guy's not paying attention to. And maybe it's me, I pay attention to detail. The Tate brothers have been under criminal investigation since April. They have been watching them for a good few months here. Okay? This ain't something they just pulled up and said, okay, let's go there and charge them and pull them down. No. They have been watching them since April, is where they've been trying to tie something into them. Now, Ethan Klein is over here talking about the young girl, and she had something to do all of this. And the things he has implied is a bunch of bullshit. It has nothing to do with her. Nothing to do with her at all. Okay? Tate and the brother they've been looking at them since April. So the police in Romania must feel they have something in order to walk into that house and charge him. And now the big battle begins. Now his money will get him out. I mean, how crooked is Romania? Can you buy yourself out of things? I've heard Tate even say that. So can you give officials $1 million here, $1 million there, $1 million here, and then all of a sudden you walk out and you're free? If it comes out with a not guilty, Ethan Klein is going to look like an asshole. But one thing's for sure, nobody knows if Andrew Tate is doing this. Andrew Tate is guilty for dealing drugs. Andrew Tate is guilty for running cam houses. Andrew Tate is guilty of running a Ponzi scheme. He's guilty of, selling products that are not complete. I mean, that's what I would say he's guilty of. But I cannot say one way or the other if he's guilty of human trafficking until it goes to court and it finally ends. Now, even if you can buy the officials off in Romania and it does come out with a not guilty, either way, you should not be accusing a man for human trafficking unless you have actual proof. It makes it sound more or less you're jealous over the vehicles he's got or whatnot, or how he made his money. Until he gets a guilty, I don't think anybody should call him a human trafficker until it's actually been proven. At least that's my point of view. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Andrew Tate over the next few months. Catch you guys on the next one.